for example, to do ecological shopping and to do very simple preparation of dishes and to use herbs for the health. And so you will be all balanced in your everyday life.
Just by nutrition.
But when they get back their energy, they begin to create good projects and they have good thoughts and they have a big motivation to have a contribution towards this world also.
Welcome to the Formidable Me channel. Today's interview is with Susanne Suryadevi Dahl. She lives in Hamburg, Germany, and her specialty is in the Ayurvedic world. And so this is all about that Ayurvedic sorcery. What is that magic? What is that voodoo? Is it a religion? Is it a cult? Is it just a health practice? What is that? And why? And if it's cool, what can I do? Like, how do I factor that into my life? Here on the Formidable Me channel. Awesome.
Hi, good morning.
Hello. Well, how pleasant. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
It's just so minimalistic and zen. I feel relaxed already. So everyone, this is Susanne, and she is speaking about her newly released, about to be released, ebook of 30 recipes in this Ayurvedic tradition. I don't know much about it, except that, I've always seen it in different outlets and there are different people who reference it. But what is this Ayurvedic sorcery? What is this? What is this about? I want to hear your story and what's going on there.
What is Ayurvedic? Yeah. So let's have a general introduction. Exactly. Ayurveda is an old tradition, ancient tradition. Mm-hmm. And it has all the good things for us because it is really natural. And back then they didn't have the differentiation between ecological and non-ecological because it was all natural and all in accordance with human beings. Mm-hmm. So this is what Ayurveda teaches us today. For example, to do ecological shopping and to do very simple preparation of dishes and to use herbs for the health. And so you will be all balanced in your everyday life.
Just by nutrition?
Nutrition is the first thing in Ayurveda because it's prevention. It's all about prevention. And if you don't get sick, then you don't need any medicine, right?
I love that.
So you use medicine in case you get sick, but with Ayurveda, you shouldn't get sick. And nutrition is most important because you eat 3 times a day. Mm-hmm. Of course, you have to relax and you have to go for a walk and you have to do some sports. That's also important. But without the right nutrition, you won't have much energy and you won't have the right energy.
Right. I mean, even while you practice really good nutrition, you're still going to get sick once in a while, but not as much.
Yeah. It's less often. That's right.
Is there anything unique in the nutrition? Like, is it all plant-based, vegetarian, vegan? Is it a certain combination? Is it foods that I'm not familiar with?
Basically, it's the food that's good for you, exactly for you, because Ayurveda distinguishes between different types of people, of persons. Oh. Some person has got more of the fire element in their body. They have got very much energy and they're straightforward. And some people have more like the structure. They are slower and they're a little bit bigger from the body type. And some people have got all this movement, this air element. Yes, they're very quick and they have hundreds of ideas and they move and they're thin. So for these different types, you need different food. if someone is, for example, a little bit bigger in his structure, a little bit stronger, then you wouldn't recommend to eat much fat or much sweets or much carbohydrates, right?
Right.
So, but if someone has got, is like very nervous and moving a lot, there's also food according to get this person a little bit more down.
And does a person determine their category just by, I kind of know myself, or is there a process or consulting that you kind of question this out?
It depends upon your skin, your behavior, your psychic. It depends upon your digestion. An Ayurvedic doctor would do it by the pulse, the examination. But I'm not a doctor, but I can also do. I also can know what the type is just by asking all these questions. And many questions to know, and then you know the type. And referring to your question at first, Ayurveda is not necessarily vegetarian, but it can be. It's good if it's vegetarian because I said it's all natural and it's also very spiritual. So in Ayurveda we say that all beings are one and all beings have a soul in themselves, even the animals. So why should we eat animals? But that is a narrow point of view. Some people, they do eat meat and they say it has got also different characteristics. Therefore, it's good for me if I eat this kind of meat. So it doesn't have to be vegetarian. It doesn't have to be vegan or whatever. But the most important thing is that it suits to your unique body.
Okay, so through a series of questions, you kind of determine, psychologically and emotionally and metabolically where a person is at, physically, and then you kind of prescribe a diet. Is there a seasonal element to this? The seasons of the years, the diet will change and evolve?
Yes, it's what grows within one season is good for you, is especially good for you. Locally and seasonally is preferred to food from far countries. Yes.
What if I live by the equator and it's always warm?
But you have local foods, right? You have mango, papaya, pineapple, so it's good for you.
Yes. But I'll never be able to eat another blueberry in my life.
Well, you can, but it's a matter of the proportion.
Oh, okay. Phew.
So
this is good.
In Germany, we eat rice, we eat ginger, we have ghee, clarified butter. Well, that's of course local, but we have ginger, we have turmeric, we have cumin, we have all these spices that do not grow in Germany, but still good. But you should also eat enough of the local foods, what is grown here, the vegetables, the fruits. In winter, it is from the storage. Well, you can have then some food from far countries. But in the summertime, in spring and autumn, here in Europe, definitely you should eat what the nature delivers.
Right. What if, I like to train for different athletic events, and I think my physical workouts, sometimes I'm really good and I'm taking in a lot of protein and I'm really watching what I eat, and other times I'm pretty sedentary and I don't do anything. How does that affect, an Ayurvedic diet? Does that play into that world?
Yes. The central idea is that you have that you have a digestive fire. And this fire needs to burn high enough, but also it has to be nourished. So it is just burning right. If you do a lot of sports, then your fire is really high, yes? And you need to put in a lot more things than someone who is just working on the computer the whole day. So you need to be aware of that you need a lot more food, and then you need muscle food like proteins, carbohydrates, of course. Mm-hmm. And you need the right food. So the circumstances are also important to know what kind of food you need and how often you eat, because that's another thing in Ayurveda. For the digestive fire, you also need to have enough breaks in between the meals, a long enough break. So it means if you have breakfast, don't eat 1.5 hours after breakfast before you haven't digested the porridge or whatever you had for breakfast, right? Because then your fire doesn't burn right. But if you digest it fully and then you eat after 3-4 hours, it depends on the size of the meal. If you have a really heavy meal, you need maybe even 5 or 6 hours. And if you wait until you have digested it fully and then you eat, then your fire is always burning. It's like a chimney where you put in some woods, right? You wouldn't put in one wood after the other before the old wood hasn't burned down. And you mix it with the ashes. You first clean up the ashes and then you put in more wood.
So cut back on snacks, on anything that might stimulate more digestive process. Let one finish before you start another digestive process.
Yes, eat that you are satisfied and don't snack. Like snacking is for me like, you know, for 1 hour putting in one piece after the other. And it kills your digestive fire. It reduces it very much. So if you do that for months and for years, your health goes down and you don't realize it first. It may be some years even. And after that, you may have a heavy disease and you don't know the cause of it. But it's this small process. And by doing it right, you can prevent diseases from coming up.
Okay, so I eat pretty healthily. What kind of a difference can I expect in shifting over to an Ayurvedic tradition?
You use more spices, like I said, ginger, turmeric, curry leaves, chili, if it's the right spice for you, cardamom, cinnamon, whatever. There's so many spices. There's hot spices, bitter spices, sweet spices, yes. And if you mix it with the right spices and also with the right kind of fat. We need enough fat in our body. Modern diet always says, cut the fat, but you never do that in Ayurveda. Yeah. Of course, your food shouldn't swim in oil, right. But you need like 1 or 2 spoons of good oil, of like cold pressed oil, like good olive oil or sesame oil. Almond oil. That's very good for your body. So that's the difference, that you watch what ingredients you use, and with the right oil, with the right spices, then you don't overcook the food. Yes, it has to be a little crunchy. Okay. Still, even the vegetable, then it's very good for you. And also in Ayurveda, you watch, are you the type who can digest raw food or rather not? Yeah, because it's not all healthy because it's vegetable and you eat it no matter how cold or hot. Raw food is quite hard to digest, and it's a big difference.
For some people.
For some people, for some metabolism, yeah, for some people. But raw food is always hard to digest. And you need a good fire. But some people do have a good fire. They have so much fire, they don't realize it. And some people don't have that fire, and they get a belly like this after like really hard and lots of air inside. So it's not healthy for them to eat like, by raw food, I mean green salad like lettuce, but also like if you do carrots or root beet.
Really? Very interesting, especially in the vegetable category then. Fresh fruit, raw fruit. Okay.
Yeah, fruit has got lots of sugar, so it's quite easy. Yes, we absorb the sugar quite easily. So fruit is a little different than like what I said, carrot, root beet, all these things. Normally it's like the roots which you can eat raw, not potatoes, but other roots which you can eat raw, or lettuce, and sometimes it's being mixed as a like colorful salad, right? And this is not so easy to digest.
I love a colorful salad. Okay, but this is something to look at.
Maybe it's good for you. Maybe it's good.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you have to watch. And how do you find out? That's, I think, the most important question. If you have energy, if you don't have any disturbances, if you sleep well, if you can concentrate well, then you're consuming the right food.
And these are the types of questions you would ask somebody to help kind of assess, maybe don't eat this and maybe do this.
Yes. And then I give them an advice, what to eat, how to prepare the food, which spices to use, give them different ideas of a variety of recipes.
It sounds like simple, but then when you talk about learning new recipes, it's kind of a change of lifestyle.
Yeah, but do it slowly. It's Ayurvedic is big, it really is. Yes. But you can do it slowly. You can start with one thing, and I think it's like, do your marketing and business or do your personal productivity. It's also big. There's so many rules to it, but start with one, keep up with it, and start the next one, and then you have it all.
There it is.
So just start by keeping up some breaks in between meals and watching that you don't eat every 60 minutes, every hour. So keep up like a 2 or 3 hour break. Then drink some water in between. Don't drink sugar-based lemonade.
Or another coffee, or...
Yeah, it's not a problem to have a coffee, but don't have 5 or 10 a day. You know, don't drink only coffee.
What about wine? Beer?
Well, alcohol is a drug, if you state it clearly. So you can have like a little bit, but be aware that it's not health food. Yes? And I say always it's a matter of proportion, like how much you have, how much alcohol you have, and on how many days or nights of the week you have it, and how much you have altogether. So be in balance with that. Yeah, it's not Ayurveda altogether. It's not about prohibiting, not at all. Yes, it's about enjoyment and about knowing the consequences. Ayurveda doesn't forbid anything. It always states, if you do this, then you reap that. If you saw that, then you reap that. Yes, it's cause and effect. So if you have a lot of alcohol, your health will suffer. If you have a little bit and you enjoy everything, and you drink enough water, you eat enough vegetables, full grains, everything is good.
What do you see, people experiencing, through this analysis and then the shift in diet? What types of shift are they seeing in their life? Even
though people eat healthy, they still may have some problems. It may not be major problems, minor problems, but people think it's really healthy and they don't know which is the proper food for them. So they still have like, they
inflammation.
need some time to digest, or they have a hard stomach, a hard belly. They don't sleep well at the night. So if they shift to a proper food, these minor disturbances, they disappear and they feel better. But it's also a matter sometimes of cleaning the body, yes? Like there can be a very simple cleaning. It's eating one day only liquid food, eating and drinking, like soups and juices and water. So it's a vacation for your whole digestion, for your whole system. Yeah, it's really a vacation. It's a soup is very easy to digest. There's almost no effort for your body to digest it. And after that day, you experience how much energy you put into digestion, because after this vacation break in between, like if you do it once a month or twice a month, you really, the next day, you wake up earlier, you have so much energy, your brain is working efficiently, yes? Yeah, so it's really good.
So far, what I understand about Ayurveda is there's a shift in this dietary component. There's more to it though, movement. Are there other things that you prescribe for the whole Ayurvedic experience?
Well, Ayurveda is a sibling to yoga. So it's good to do some yoga exercises. They're very close together. They have the same philosophy to come back to our root of what we really are, to be in harmony, to be in balance, to be in love, to be centered in your heart. Yes, that's Ayurveda and yoga all together. So it's good to do the right eating, but also you need some movements. It can be some easy sport, like going for a jog or doing some walking or swimming. But yoga exercises balance very much. And of course, relaxation is important too, yes? Just to relax for 10-15 minutes every day, lay flat on the floor and really relax the mind, relax the body. So these are also important aspects. And with yoga and Ayurveda, it's also your mindset. Have healthy thoughts, have loving thoughts, support others, be a supportive person, and also for your own life. Have energetic thoughts and put your given tasks into life and be productive and do all these things. So, but the center of Ayurveda basically is be healthy with the right herbs, with the right spices, and with the right food.
Your primary work now then at this point in your young life is now to kind of improve the world by sharing this adjustment in life and this awareness, this Ayurvedic. So you do consulting and coaching to help people?
Yes, I do help people, and I have a big motivation behind why I do help people. My motivation is not to create models who have a brilliant look.
Right.
If that effect happens, it's wonderful. I don't have anything against that. But my big motivation is to support the environment. We should buy eco foods, ecological grown, biological. We should shop naturally. We should wear natural clothes, not all polyester and synthetic fibers.
Right.
So this is my motivation to work towards the environment. We don't have to eat so much meat that we have to cut all the trees and destroy the woods, especially in South America. So this is my motivation, and I help people, I coach and consult people, of course, in their individual energy. But when they get back their energy, they begin to create good projects, and they have good thoughts, and they have a big motivation to have a contribution towards this world also. So my philosophy is a big philosophy, but my work is like one-to-one coaching, consulting, or like one-to-many, like this ebook, or like my online courses, to have an introduction into this Ayurvedic world.
I love that. I love what you're doing. And I think that is the way forward, that everybody finds what your voice is. But as we just make, the few people that we can, if we can elevate them, then they in turn will elevate others. And moving forward, we just have to, strengthen those who can be strengthened, and let that just spread. Like,
beautifully said.
Thank you. I think that's exciting. What's the best place for a person to start?
Well, the first thing, I start with a person, and I ask the person to watch for 1 week what their needs are, because it's really nothing I want to put over like a big hat, and say, this is Ayurveda, wear this now, this is not what I want. I want that the person who comes to me finds out what she really needs. What does she feel? How does she feel after eating? What are her needs or his needs? And what is she looking for? What makes her happy? And then I give some simple advice, like drinking warm water in between, or use this or that spice. And it's always connected, like with the mind, body and mind, they go together. And so it's a very gentle way. Yes, it's a gradual way. I offer coachings for 3 months in a row, like personal coaching. So we get some shift, but then the people still has a lot of input, and she needs to transfer this in the upcoming years as well. She needs to stick with it.
You know what I've taken away so far, most significantly, that I can actually start today after this interview? I know that I can cut back on snacks to ease up the load on my digestive tract. I think that's going to be awesome. I'm also very intrigued by the 1-day juice fast, liquids only. I think that's going to be awesome. And I think that, incorporating and just preaching out loud again, drink water. More water is just so good. And the warm water, there's 3 instant things that anyone can just start with, and then get in touch and start to look at what foods respond. And I like that it incorporates what's going on in your head also, and in the clothing you wear, natural fibers. What do you see as the biggest challenge for people?
Keep it up is one challenge. It's good if you do the 3 months, because then I remind them every week, and we have a talk every week. And it's not only the food, it really is mindset, at least 50%. I give them, this is the recipe, this is how you do that, but you have to create new habits, and it's not so easy to do that, yes?
Yeah.
And it's connected to your self-worth, and it's connected into the center of your life. Mm-hmm. And saying, okay, food is important for me. I do have a break now, and I deserve the break now, and I deserve to have good food. So for many people, it's like this kind of mindset they have. And with the talks, it's very psychological.
What is it that people are like failing at?
Don't concentrate on leaving food out or on diminishing food. Concentrate more on we have got like a compass, yes?
Yes.
In our body, and it tells us exactly what it needs. Our body tells us every day, every time. But because we are so addicted sometimes to junk food, to too much sweet food and these things, then we don't listen this fine voice anymore. And the thing is, get back to this fine voice, and your body will tell you. And then you don't need, I'm not allowed to do that, I'm not allowed to do that. But if you listen to your body, then you know, I need some vegetable now, I need some food now, I'm thirsty, I need to drink. Yeah, you know, everybody knows. When you're thirsty, you have thirst. That's the fine voice of your body. But it can also tell, I need some pulses, I need some nuts, I need vegetables, if you have these regular meals.
I love it.
And the start is really to have these breaks in between, because then you have not only appetite, but you have hunger. You're really hungry. And if you are hungry, then your digestion is good.
That's such a great point to clarify. How do we follow you? How do we get people to connect with you, those that are, you know, in your world and are interested and curious now? I think you've piqued some interesting possibilities for people.
Yes, I've got a Facebook page.
I have that.
And I've got a blog, a website and a blog with many recipes where you can just begin. If you understand German, but Google Chrome, if you use it, you can have the full translation into your language as well.
It's been such a charm to meet you and to get to know you, and to thank you for sharing. You've just given so much really valuable, interesting insight to a possibility. It's a whole new world, I think, for me and a lot of people. And I think the promise is just that feeling better and more energy, and getting more familiar with what our awesome bodies are capable of doing.
Yes. Thank you for asking great questions and for taking all my ideas so excited.
I'm genuinely interested and curious. I look forward to keeping in touch with you, and I look very forward to getting your book. And you can look for me posting up on your blog questions, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Oh, thank you, David.
Thank you.